Hi, and welcome to English-Fabule. Are you learning English? Great. Let's learn English with a very interesting story. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Let's get started.
It was a dark Tuesday night in the central Philippines. On September 30, 2025, the earth began to shake very strongly. At exactly 9:59 p.m., a big earthquake struck off the coast of Cebu province. It was a powerful quake, measuring magnitude 6.9. The quake's origin was very shallow, only 5 kilometers deep. This close-to-surface depth caused very heavy shaking across the land, affecting millions of people. The impact was immediate and devastating for communities in the Visayas region. Many homes collapsed quickly, trapping people inside. Essential buildings like markets and schools also suffered heavy damage. Important old churches, some of which had stood for 100 years, broke apart, losing their historical beauty. Bridges and roads were also badly damaged, cutting off towns and making it hard for help to arrive. This terrible night caused many lives to be lost and left hundreds of people injured, creating widespread panic and confusion. The disaster showed the great power of nature, suddenly changing the lives of many. It forced a whole nation to deal with a sudden, huge crisis. This book will tell the story of how a country faced this powerful natural event, the struggles of its people, and their efforts to rebuild. 2. A terrible night. The night the earthquake hit was full of terror for many people. In just a few seconds, lives changed forever across the central Philippines. This terrible night would not be forgotten by those who lived through it. Firefighter Ray Cañete was finishing his work shift at the Bogo City Fire Station. Suddenly, the ground began to shake with extreme force. He and his colleagues quickly tried to run outside to safety. However, the shaking was so violent that they lost their balance and fell to the ground. Inside the fire station, concrete walls broke apart and collapsed. This falling debris trapped vital equipment and sadly injured several firefighters who were also trying to escape. In the coastal town of San Remigio, a heartbreaking tragedy occurred. 4 young basketball players were taking part in a local sports tournament. 3 of them were members of the Philippine Coast Guard, and 1 was a firefighter. As the earthquake struck, the roof of the gymnasium where they were playing in suddenly collapsed. It fell directly onto them, ending their lives in an instant. Elsewhere in San Remigio, another very young victim, a small child, also died. Debris from a damaged building fell on the child while they were peacefully sleeping in their home. Medellin town also experienced immense sorrow and loss. At least 12 residents lost their lives when the structures of their homes failed. These victims were mostly from small families. Many were sound asleep when the ceilings and walls of their houses crashed down on them. What should have been the safest place, their own beds, became the site of their final moments. The earthquake quickly turned their homes into tragic tombs. Across the wider region, millions of people felt the Earth's powerful and sudden movement. The widespread shaking caused intense panic and chaos. The Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, known as PH-Volcs, recorded the earthquake's maximum intensity as destructive. This meant the shaking was very severe. Over 164,000 people in towns like Dan Bantayan and Bogo felt the most extreme tremors. Additionally, a huge number of people, over 4 million, across Cebu, Leyte, Masbate, and Negros Occidental provinces experienced strong to very strong shaking. Fear and confusion quickly spread through communities as buildings swayed and crumbled in the dark night, making it truly a night of terror for everyone involved. 3. Old churches break. The powerful earthquake also destroyed many old and important buildings. Many of these were historic churches, some more than 100 years old. They had stood for a very long time, through many storms and events. One such church was the Archdiocesan Shrine of Santa Rosa de Lima in Dan Bantayan. This church was a heritage landmark, over 100 years old. When the earth shook, its front part broke and fell to the ground. People watched with sadness as the old stone walls gave way. Lights inside the church went out as parts of the outer structure crumbled. On Bantayan Island, the parish of St. Peter the Apostle also suffered damage. People saw the church swaying a lot during the earthquake. Some even filmed videos as parts of its front facade broke and fell. A person named Martham Pasilan was near the church when it happened. He heard a very loud noise and then saw rocks falling from the building. Luckily, no one was hurt at that church at that moment. These old churches were very important to the people. They were not just buildings. They were a part of the community's history and spirit. They showed the long past of the Philippines and were special places for faith. Their breaking meant not only physical loss, but also a loss of a deep connection to the past that had held communities together for many years. Because of the big damage, the Archdiocese of Cebu gave a special order. It told all churches in northern Cebu to stop holding services. Archbishop Alberto S. Uy said that people's safety must come first. He ordered that all churches be checked for damage before any services could start again. 4. Broken roads and no lights. The earthquake did not just break buildings. It also broke the country's important systems. These systems are called infrastructure. At least 22 infrastructure projects were damaged. This made life very hard for many people. Many roads and bridges were not safe to use after the strong shaking. 5 bridges and 1 major road became impassable. For example, the Dagunsungan and Bangon bridges in Medellin could not be used. This meant that some towns were cut off. Rescue teams found it hard to reach people who needed help. Moving around was dangerous because of fallen rocks and other hazards. Workers faced problems trying to bring heavy machines, like backhoes, to mountain villages. Landslides and large fallen rocks made their work very slow. The earthquake also caused widespread power outages. Power lines stopped working across Cebu and other central islands. The National Grid Corporation of the Philippines reported these issues. While big cities like Cebu City got electricity back after midnight, many smaller towns stayed in darkness. This made rescue work even harder. Doctors and nurses also found it difficult to treat injured people in the dark. The water system also broke in many places. In San Remigio, the vice mayor, Alfie Raines, asked for urgent help with food and water. He said the earthquake damaged the whole town's water system. In Medellin, a water tank fell down. This left thousands of people without clean drinking water. This damage created new health problems right away. To make things worse, communication lines stopped working in 3 areas. This meant families could not talk to each other. People could not call for help or tell their loved ones they were safe. It also made it hard for emergency workers to talk to each other and plan their next steps. This lack of communication lasted for more than a day. It added to the difficulties people faced after the earthquake. 5. The shaking earth. The Philippines is in a very active place on Earth. It is called the Pacific Ring of Fire. This is a large, horseshoe-shaped area where many of the world's earthquakes and volcanoes happen. About 90% of all earthquakes globally happen here. This is because giant pieces of the Earth's surface, called tectonic plates, meet and push against each other in this area. The Philippines sits where plates like the Philippine Sea Plate and the Eurasian Plate interact, causing frequent ground movement. The earthquake that hit Cebu was caused by movement along a local fault line. It was very shallow, only 5 kilometers deep. This shallow depth made the shaking on the surface much worse. When an earthquake happens close to the ground, its energy has less distance to travel. So the ground shakes more strongly, causing greater damage to buildings and making people feel the tremors intensely. The Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, known as PHIVLCS, said the earthquake had a magnitude of 6.9. This was a powerful event. After the main shock, many smaller quakes, called aftershocks, quickly followed. PHIVLCS recorded 379 aftershocks within just a few hours. Most of these were too small for people to notice, but 3 were strong enough to be felt. The strongest aftershock reached magnitude 5.2. Scientists have explained that aftershocks are a normal part of a large earthquake event. Dr. Teresito Bacolco, the director of PHIVLCS, gave a clear warning. He told everyone to expect more tremors for days or even weeks after the main quake. This constant shaking made it hard for people to feel safe. Many could not return to their homes, fearing more damage or collapses as the earth continued to move unpredictably. 6. The government helps. The government quickly began to help after the big earthquake. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. gave clear orders right away. He told all government agencies to start rescue work and send help to affected areas. Their main job was to save people who were trapped or injured. They also needed to provide relief for everyone who had lost their homes or belongings, sending food, clean water, and temporary shelter. The Office of Civil Defense, OCD, was very busy. This important agency works to manage disasters across the country. They helped to organize all the rescue efforts. OCD worked closely with local leaders in different towns and cities. Together, they worked to find out exactly how much damage there was to buildings and roads. They also carefully checked all the reports about people who were hurt or had died. This detailed work helped them understand where aid was most needed. It made sure that help went to the right places first. Cebu Governor Pamela Barikuatro also took important steps for her province. For the safety of students and staff, she stopped classes in many affected areas. She also told government workers in some towns to stay home. This was so that damaged buildings could be checked carefully before anyone went inside. Governor Barikuatro quickly sent relief goods. These included vital items like food, clean water, and other necessary supplies. She also sent medicines to places like Bogo City, where many people were injured. She used her official social media to tell residents help is coming, to give them hope. Other government groups also joined in the efforts to help. The Department of Social Welfare and Development, DSWD, activated its local office in Central Visayas. They worked to help local governments give aid to earthquake victims. The Department of Health sent special medical teams, including doctors and nurses, to help in the damaged areas. These brave medical teams worked tirelessly to treat many injured people, even in difficult conditions. Many towns that were badly hit did something very important. Towns like San Remigio and Tabuelan quickly declared a state of calamity. This is a special legal step. It allows them to get emergency money faster from the national government. It also helps them get important resources like vehicles, food, and building materials more quickly, without long administrative waits. This was a key step to make sure aid reached people who lost their homes and belongings faster. The government worked hard to respond to the earthquake's many challenges. They faced big problems like broken roads that made travel difficult, and many towns had no electricity for days. But they tried their very best to reach everyone who needed help. This quick and organized response showed how the government worked to protect its people in a time of great trouble and loss. 7. People's stories. The earthquake brought many personal stories of how people lived through the terrible night. Agnes Mirza, a 65-year-old carer, was on Bantayan Island when the ground began to shake hard. She felt great fear. She said it felt like everyone would fall to the ground, and the very walls of her home might crumble. Her neighbors quickly ran out of their houses to find safety outside, shouting to each other. Agnes's two young helpers, both teenagers, knew what to do. They quickly hid under a strong table, just as they had learned in the Boy Scouts. This quick action helped them stay safe as things around them moved and broke, proving that preparation can save lives. Rescue workers also faced huge challenges. In places like Bogo City, their job was very difficult and dangerous. Rex Yogot, a disaster officer, explained that it was hard to move around the affected areas because of many dangers. Roads were blocked by debris and buildings were damaged. Workers needed heavy machines to clear paths, but it was almost impossible to take these to mountain villages. Landslides and falling rocks made the routes impossible and very risky. This meant that help for people in remote areas was very slow to arrive, adding to the distress. The rescue teams worked bravely, pushing through the rubble and fear to reach everyone, even in the hardest places. But in the middle of all the trouble, people showed great kindness and strength. Neighbors helped neighbors. Hundreds of residents gathered in open areas like fields near the Bogo fire station. They made their own safe places, called spontaneous evacuation centers. Families waited there, sitting together on the ground, worried about the aftershocks that kept coming every few minutes. People shared blankets, what little water they had, and food. They talked and found comfort in being together, sharing their fears and hopes. This strong spirit of helping each other, called social solidarity, was very important. It showed how communities can become stronger when facing a disaster, finding courage together. Doctors and nurses in hospitals also worked tirelessly through the chaos. Cebu Provincial Hospital in Bogo City became very crowded very quickly. Many injured people arrived, filling both the inside and outside areas of the hospital, needing urgent care. Medical staff worked through the entire night without rest. They treated many kinds of injuries, like broken bones, deep cuts, and other serious trauma. They had to work fast and calmly to help everyone who needed care. Even though they themselves felt scared about the hospital building shaking again or what else might happen, they stayed focused on helping the earthquake victims. Their hard work, care, and bravery helped many people survive and begin to heal from their physical and mental wounds. The future of the Philippines. The earthquake caused much sadness, but now the people of the Philippines look to the future. It is a long road ahead to fix everything that was broken. Homes must be rebuilt, roads made new, and lives put back together. Many families lost their houses and need safe places to live again. Fixing damaged bridges and water systems will also take a lot of time and hard work. The government and people must work together for many months and even years to restore all the damage. This process needs careful planning and strong determination. One of the biggest lessons from this earthquake is about how we build. It showed that some buildings were not strong enough. Now it is very important to make all new structures safer. This means using better building plans and stronger materials that can resist shaking. Engineers will help set new rules for construction. They will make sure homes, schools, and offices can stand firm during strong earth movements. Even old and important churches, which are part of the country's history, need to be made safer. It is a challenge to keep their original beauty while making them strong against future quakes, balancing heritage with modern safety. The Philippines is a country that often faces natural disasters like earthquakes and powerful storms. Because of this, being ready for the future is key. The government and local communities must keep working on ways to prepare for these events. This includes teaching people what to do when the ground shakes, like drop, cover, and hold on. Regular drills help everyone practice how to stay safe and where to go. Also, having plans for quickly getting help, like food, clean water, and medical care, is very important. Making sure all people, no matter their wealth, live in safe homes will help the whole nation be stronger when the next disaster comes. This ongoing effort builds the country's resilience, helping it bounce back faster from any future challenges. Despite the great challenges and the loss, the spirit of the Filipino people is strong. They have a long history of helping each other during tough times. After this earthquake, people came together quickly to share food, offer shelter, and give comfort to those in need. This sense of community and looking after one another is a big part of how the Philippines recovers. Facing nature's immense power is never easy, but the people's strength, hope, and determination always shine through. They will work together to rebuild their communities, learn valuable lessons from what happened, and move towards a better and safer tomorrow for everyone. This tragedy reminds everyone about the power of nature and the importance of being ready. How can we best ensure that all communities in the Philippines are safe from future earthquakes?
Hey there! Just a second before you go. If you learned something new today, please give this video a like, write your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second, and it really, really helps to create even better English videos for you. Your support means the world. Thank you.